Tennessee really struggled in 2018, and that was a big surprise for me. I didn't really expect them to be as bad as they were, and go 5-7. I expected them to make a bowl game and possibly make a run for a good one as well. But how are they going to do in 2019? Are they going to be able to bounce back? Or are they going to fall back into a year that was just like last year's? And that's what we're going to be going over today. I'm going to be going over Tennessee's schedule preview for the 2019 season. We're going to be going over a few points here, who they're going to be losing, and a quick look at their schedule, including a few games I think are going to be wins and a few games that could be losses. Of course, in 2018, once again, they went 5-7, missed a bowl game. It was a rough 2018 season. Once again, I really did not expect it. I thought that they would do much better than they did. They need a fast start in 2019. I think that's going to be a huge key for them. I think this team, I thought about this last season. This is a team that had a ton of potential. And, I mean, they just weren't able to use it in the right way. And that's the thing that I say about a lot of teams. If you have the potential and you can use it, you are a dangerous team. If you're motivated and you've got a good coach who motivates you and gets you to do what you need to do, that is really what's going to make a team good. And I think 2019, they've got a chance to be good, but they just need to be able to use their potential. They returned Garantano at quarterback. That is huge. You've returned their key running backs as well. And then they returned their entire offensive line, but lose the entire defensive line, and one receiver and two cornerbacks. So, looking at this, their offense really should be pretty good next year. I'm expecting them to be much better than they were last year. I mean, that's what I said about the year before, too. But I genuinely do think that they are not going to go 5-7 next year. There's a really low chance of them missing a bowl game, I think, especially since they're returning their entire offense. Basically, I mean, they're losing a receiver, and that's kind of rough. But I mean, really, that's their only loss. On defense, they do lose the entire defensive line and a couple of players in the secondary. But I do think that they're going to be much better this year than they were last year. Full season for Tennessee, I would say yes to that. So 2019 outlook is pretty good for Tennessee. Here's their schedule, and as you can see, it's not too bad. Their non-conference schedule should be a walk in the park. You got Georgia State, BYU, Chattanooga, and UAB. The two games that kind of point out to me here include BYU and UAB. BYU has been a team that's been kind of dangerous in previous seasons. They really weren't that good last year, but they've been known to be able to upset some teams. Same for UAB. They went to a bowl game last year, and they really looked good. So UAB, I consider leaving that a white game just because of the uncertainty of Tennessee next season. But I'm putting it in green. I think that they're going to be able to handle UAB at home. If it was an away game, I would probably keep it white. But just since they have it at home, and Tennessee has a genuine home field advantage, I mean, that place is a dangerous place to play. We've seen a lot of teams go in there and end up with losses and end up with big upsets. Tennessee is known to be able to upset a whole lot of teams at home. It doesn't matter who it is. But yeah, I've got 4 certain wins on this schedule. Those are their 4 non-conference games. I don't have any conference games in green yet. I consider putting Vanderbilt as a green game. But I ended up not, just because Vanderbilt I expect to be about on the same level as Tennessee next season. In red, we have at Florida and at Alabama. I think those 2 games are going to be tough for Tennessee, especially going on the road. I think, at Florida, at Alabama, 2 very tough places to play, and they're going to be 2 very good teams next season. I'm expecting Florida to also be really good. Just like this year, I think they're going to be in the top 15 for the majority of the season. And I think it should be, for them being at home at the beginning of the conference season, should be a win for Florida there. At Alabama, you never know about that game, but Alabama also is a hard place to play, so I think they're going to lose that game as well. Against Georgia at home, I'm not putting that in red. I think they've got a chance to beat Georgia if they can show up that week to play. And then Mississippi State also in white. Really looking at the middle of their season, they've got a really tough stretch in there. Those 5 games in a row from September 21st to October 26th, those 5 games are very tough. You have at Florida against Georgia, Mississippi State at home, at Alabama, and then South Carolina to end that stretch at home. Then you get a little break in UAB, and then you have to go to Kentucky the next week. This is a tougher schedule in the middle. Of course, at least they don't have a very tough non-conference schedule. If they had a tough non-conference schedule, this would not be an easy time for Tennessee this season. And of course, you can't sleep on at Missouri on November 23rd, and Vanderbilt at home on November 30th. So it is a little tougher of a conference schedule. You definitely can say that. Estimated record wise, I say this is a really tough to be able to predict the record in February. So I'm keeping it at a very wide range for Tennessee. I'm going to say 4-8. That is the worst case scenario. They are not going lower than 4-8. They will win 4 games this season. It doesn't matter whether they lose a non-conference game or not. I still think they're going to get to 4 wins no matter what. 9 wins, I think, is their max this season. It's really tough for me to see them only losing 2 games. Of course, since this will likely be a rebuilding year for this Tennessee team, it's going to be tough to see them making it to 10 wins. So I'm capping it off at 9 being their best case scenario for this season. Really record-wise, if you want a better or a more defined estimate, I would say between 7 and 8 wins is safe to say for Tennessee. Possibly 6, but I say between 6 or 8 is the best. Well, that's the best prediction for their record this season. I think upset-wise, if they're going to upset a team, it'd be at Georgia or against Georgia at home on October 5th. That game, I think, is going to be a dangerous one. And then I think on October 26th, I would say South Carolina could be a possible upset. But the thing is, though, about that game is you're coming off of a 4-game stretch, which is very tough. And so I think that they're not going to be able to pull that one off. But they do have a chance. I'm not counting them out in that game, but that's going to be a tough one for them there. At Kentucky on November 9th, I think that could be a possible win as well. At Missouri, that could be a win as well. Then Vanderbilt on November 30th, they're more likely to win that game, but I didn't want to put it in green because it's not a definite win yet. So, looking at the toughest month on this schedule, I would probably say it'd have to be October, just because you've got Georgia, Mississippi State, Alabama, and South Carolina, all in October, and those 4 opponents are all tough ones. And the only road game that you have in that month is Alabama, but of course you have Alabama just a couple weeks before on September 21st. At least they get a bye before these 4 games, or else they'd really be having a tough time. That I know for sure. So that is about it for this prediction video. Thank you guys all for watching. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below on Tennessee. Do you agree with these or do you not? Let me know your guys' thoughts. Thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you all later.